Hey, Lou, you know how you asked me to connect all those different locations together? I found a great deal on a bunch of used ASUS routers, and now they're all connected and we are ready to go. We can VPN in, do whatever it is we need to do.
Yeah, John, let's talk about that.
Another CV of the week.
Yeah,
Uh,
another one.
It's Friday, March 13th, Friday the 13th, once again. And this is IT SPARC Cast CVE of the week, where we pick a common vulnerability and exposure entry that you need to know about and how to mitigate ASAP. And today we're talking about 14,000 routers that are infected with malware. Lou, why don't you bring us up to speed on this?
Absolutely. So, folks, there's a couple reasons why you want to pay attention to this. One is a lot of your remote users, your house, for example, could be impacted by this exploit. And it's a really challenging one. So let's go ahead and go over this. It has been discovered, and this came to us from Ars Technica, that a 14,000 ASUS routers are currently owned by a botnet. And it's this one, yes, this one is unusual because normally we see this in other vendors and we don't have as sophisticated as attack as this one. So this malware is dubbed KadNap, and it takes hold by exploiting vulnerabilities that have gone unpatched by their owners, said Chris Formosa, researcher at the security firm Lumen's Black Lotus Labs. That's what he told ours. Definitely want to give Black Lotus Labs a hat tip for this one. Thank you. You worked hard on this. Let's get the word out there. So what it does is it takes advantage of some undocumented flaws in the code, or even documented, but users are not turning on auto patch on their routers, and it installs a permanent backdoor that allows attackers to remotely control the routers while remaining extremely difficult to remove. It's designed to survive reboots and even firmware updates, making it unusually resistant to standard cleanup methods. Now, we have some great tips for you on how to deal with this. So this is the fun part. The compromised devices being used as part of a botnet, which attackers can leverage for activities such as network attacks, surveillance, or staging other intrusions. Now, it's unusual for us to get this level of detail, but infected devices are being used to carry traffic for Doppelganger, a fee-based proxy service that tunnels customers' internet traffic through internet connections, primarily residential, your house with an ASUS router, of unsuspecting people. So that means if you've got some weasel that's browsing for very salacious content, you would say, well, that has nothing to do with me. You have a compromised router, it's coming from your house.
I would also
That's
throw out there that ASUS doesn't just make home routers, they also make small business routers, and those are potentially impacted here as well. So if you are maybe helping out your brother-in-law with his restaurant or some other small business and they have a small business class ASUS router, you might want to check with them as well.
absolutely and it's really interesting, right? Because we know at least one of the things. But what's both scary and cool about this is that the way this botnet was built is structured to resist takedown efforts. So most of the time, when you build up a botnet, you'll have a couple of master nodes and a whole bunch of subservient nodes, right? Primaries and secondaries. And if you take down the primaries, you've essentially knocked down the system. This thing, KadNap, is it uses anonymous proxies and is used a peer-to-peer network for decentralized control. So think of KadNap as a botnet system like BitTorrent, right? You don't have a central control. There's no central nodes you can knock out. As long as you have the proper credentials, you can jump into this system from anywhere. It uses a distributed hashing to get you to the node that you want to talk to without any central control at all. So you can enter at any point, get to the node you want to mess with the node, and get out without leaving any footprints. So technically, this is really, really interesting. And it makes it a lot harder to also figure out, okay, where are the people coming in from? What are they doing? You don't have that central trap. So, BitTorrent interplanetary file system. This is a valid technique we use to make very survivable file transfer systems. But obviously, any really good decentralized system is also going to be repurposed for less good things. And that is exactly what's happened here. So, one, it's reflected, it's out there hugely. The reason it's out there is because people aren't keeping up with the firmware patches. So they're basically just going through scanning, looking for these routers. It's primarily impacting in the United States and North America. There's a sprinkling of other nodes that are outside, but primarily in North America. And so how do you find out if your router has this? Go in, get into your router, depending on what network you've set up. Look for a couple of things. Is Secure Shell SSH enabled? Is remote admin enabled? Are there unknown certificate or unknown scripts or scheduled tasks? Now, you folks tend to be more security conscious, tend to be better on the command line. You know how to look for this. You're probably going to get roped into checking your relatives or your friends' routers. So there's also a link there to the page. If you go to the Ars article, you can find it there. We'll have it in the show's notes. That you can click on that link and see if the IP address and hash file is found in the device logs. So if you look at that. So what you're going to have to do is a full factory reset. And this is more than just nuke the thing and then reload the configuration. Do not do that. This thing attaches to the configuration file and can reestablish itself because of the external configuration. So what you have to do is completely factory reset your router, bring it up, update the firmware first thing, and then reconfigure it manually. That will work.
One other thing I would just throw out there regarding this is, look, if your IP address range is 192.168.1.x24, change it. There's a lot of scripts out there. People do a lot of this through scripting. So they might just be hard-coded 1.1 in there. Do something different. Just something
10.10.10. something, or anything in the 10 range, or 172.16.
Just make sure it's not the default.
Just get out of the default IP subnet. But you can recover from this. Once again, this represents a far newer level of sophistication within this. So we expect to see more of this kind of thing because it hides the tracks of the perpetrators very well, and it gives you a serious amount of functionality in the botnet. John, have we got any feedback?
We do. So before we wrap up, I do want to go to our listener mail. And I did get an email from Blake. And Blake said that his household got 3 letters regarding the Conduit ransomware breach, and that 3 family members in his household were impacted. He asked me not to mention where he was from, but so that's just more people getting that. I will also reveal that my family has gotten letters on this as well. So this is widespread, and probably much more widespread than originally reported at 26 million. It's probably more than that. So keep an eye out for those letters. The letters come from Conduit themselves. I was wondering about that on our last episode. Would they come from the state? Would they come from the insurance company? These are coming from Conduit themselves. So I know some people are looking at class action lawsuits. I know that some people are locking their credit reports, things like that. So take a look and protect yourself as best as possible. That is going to cover this episode, and we couldn't do podcasts like this without listeners like Blake and you. Well, we want to hear what you think. Have you gotten one of those letters? Do you have a comment on this ASUS malware issue that we're talking about today? Any other topics you want us to cover? Send email to feedback@itsparkcast.com. Hit us up on X @ITSparkcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a comment down below. We read every comment, every bit of feedback we get. We respond to most, and if it's particularly interesting or insightful, we will read it out on the broadcast. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. That way you never miss an episode. And from the world of enterprise IT and security, take care.
Be safe and secure out there, okay?